record, connect to the cloud, and okay, 3, 2, 1. Hi, I'm David Fetter, Executive Editor Technical for Prepared Foods Media, and welcome to a Prepared Foods series on technical trends and new product development. Today, we're taking a look at the trends in food and mood with Rachel Yarcony. She is the founder and CEO of myAir Limited, and they are makers of an integrated system for stress relief, focus, calm, and other mood intervention that combine daily management app with an electronic stress measurement tool and a full line of nutraceutical bars that contain synergistic botanicals to address a number of mood states. Welcome, Rachel. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm honored to be here today and excited to have this conversation.
The pleasure is ours. So food and mood was already a rapidly growing category as our interconnected lives became more stressful, competitive, and 24/7, for me, 24/6. And that was before the 2020 to 2023 pandemic. And that brought with it lockdowns, fear, global unrest, and economic and political upheaval, just compounding all that stress. So please tell our audience how your system helps address that.
Well, at myAir, we developed a cutting-edge solution that addresses the problem of stress. And in this hectic world, you know that stress is the global pandemic even before COVID. And our AI-driven platform is a pioneer in personalized, utilizing advanced technology to offer tailor-made nutrition that enhance stress resilience. What we are doing is actually harmonizing generative AI with vital physiological and psychological data. The physiological data is smartwatches they arrived, and the insightful psychological analysis coming from cognitive assessments. So this approach actually enables us to measure, manage, and relieve stress through functional personalized nutrition. We have a collaboration with Garmin Health, and we did massive research, clinical research with them, showing a significant 80% reduction in user stress levels using our platform. Currently we work in Japan, in the US, in a B2B model.
Wow, that's impressive. In the US, where stress is very high, and Japan, where I understand they've been stressed for the past half century, a very high-paced lifestyle there. So,
you know that stress, one of the biggest words of 2023 is a perma-crisis. Perma-crisis because of COVID, because of the economic crisis, wars, not only in Ukraine, Israel, lots of things are happening that influence globally. And even the AI revolution that creates some, new, exciting and terrifying future for all of us. AI, it's the first time the technology actually can invent itself alone. And it's the first time the technology can get a decision to decide, to press the button by themselves. So all of those revolutions create a perma-crisis, and the best thing is to understand that the future is going to reveal lots of unexpectancy. So stress is part of our life. Chronic stress is a fact. And now the question is whether it's going to manage us or we are going to manage it.
Yes, and I didn't think of that as far as AI goes, but you're right. We have about a century of science fiction that was designed to scare the heck out of us with AI, and now here we've made it reality. So take us through how you came up with and then established the myAir brand, please.
So, this is actually my personal journey, because in the last 20 years, I had a very hectic career. I had executive roles at Nestle, at Teva Pharmaceuticals, the leading generic pharma company in the world. And as an executive manager, a mother, and a caregiver, stress was part of my life. And I always tried to manage my stress but most of the time I failed, because creating a wellness, a stressless routine is a very challenging thing, and it's a behavioral change, and most of us failed with behavioral changes, and the best way to change your behavior is to attach the new habit to a current habit that you really love to do. And there is one habit that we all have to do, which is, of course, eating our food. So at myAir, we understood that we can take the food as a tool for behavioral change, and we are what we eat. And, at Teva Pharmaceuticals, I learned how much health is rooted with our nutrition. So I was lucky enough to meet a researcher, a scientist, that told me about his research with adaptogens, active ingredients from super plants proven to reduce stress. And that actually led me to understand that I can solve my own stress, chronic stress, and millions of other stress with functional food. And since stress is very personal, each one of us has a different stress effect. It could be your sleep, or that stress creates less energy, or less focus, or muscle tension. So each one of us needs a specific, different solution. This is where the data and technology came into our startup to help us. And luckily, we live at the age of big data. So with our professor from Berkeley, who is the dean of the biologic faculty and a stress researcher during the last 30 years, we managed to build an algorithm that combines physiological data with psychological data, assess your stress, and give you nutrition functional recommendations based on your profile.
Something you said when we first met that really struck home for me was that you mentioned that the realization had hit you that stress was, managing you instead of the other way around. And I think it's that way for all of us. We let that stress take over our lives completely. So I wanted to ask, the nutraceutical bars are an important part of this. I guess you could call it a three-part system. How integral are they specifically?
It's a great question, because myAir is fundamentally an R&D leader in the field of personalized nutrition and stress management. We are not a bar company. And the nutrition bars that we created are a use case. It was a very good tool for us to incorporate our formulations and create massive research, and to prove that our formulations, inside food are working. So these nutrition bars is part of the solution that we offer, but our business model, is to incorporate our formulations in other food product. And what we are doing is we infuse our formulation in healthy cookies, granola, gums, sweets, product, even in Japanese products, because I believe, that Nestle is right, and the strategy should be be global, act local. So in Japan, we have other products that are based on the local tastes, and we infuse our formulations into these products. And the idea is that we need to provide the consumer, with our partners, a very healthy and good, hassle-free food that will enable him to manage his stress in a very fun, healthy, and hassle-free way. And this is why we use the nutrition itself.
So are any of the other products other than bars available in the US, or will they be made available in the US?
Definitely. And unfortunately, since it's a B2B model, so I cannot reveal, but it's huge corporates. And, everybody who wants to jump on the functional, personalized wagon and to provide his consumers an option, to build his wellness in a better way, and, to save all this R&D time and to take something which is already researched, is, choosing us as a partner.
Okay, well, let's talk about the botanicals themselves. Tell us how you came to choose the specific ingredients. And you've talked about the matrices, bars, cookies, etc. So just how did you come up with those specific ingredients?
Yeah, so maybe because I came from pharma, I believe
Right.
in massive research. The proof is in the pudding. Everything should be, based on clinical research. So we had extensive clinical research and cutting-edge big data analytics in order to create those formulations. And we started with massive mapping of adaptogens. Adaptogens are active molecules from super plants coming from the world to adapt to your environment. Nature is the first technology. So these
Right.
active ingredients, we created a wide range of options and analysis. Of course, our scientific team, a team of leading professors that identified the most effective ingredients and the formulations that could meet the right effects of stress. And we used big data tools in order to understand the set of formulation that could work. And the stress effects were chosen by the DSM-6. The DSM-6 is the Bible of psychology.
Good.
This is actually identify anxiety and the main stress effects, and it's including a problem with sleep or the ability to go to sleep, and the energetic levels, the focus levels, the calm, the relaxation, etc. So after we identified the formulation, we checked that with 5,000 patients in a clinical study.
Wow.
Yeah, and after that, when we infused the formulations in our bars, we did another research with Garmin Health. We tried our platform with Garmin Health employees, Garmin, the smartwatch company in the US. And that was actually the best mechanism for research because all of Garmin employees have the smartwatch. So we could do before myAir and after myAir. And we saw that 80% of them reduced their stress using our platform. And that led to a strategic partnership with Garmin up until today, even in Japan. And they're a wonderful company, wonderful.
Oh, good, good. Now, I know we've discussed all the different other matrices to put these nutraceutical blends in, but you did start with bars, and I got curious because bars are actually on the small side, just 1 ounce, and that's just comparing them to every other bar on the market. So I was wondering if they were designed specifically so that you could enjoy several of them throughout the day, that you didn't expect one to just, handle this.
Exactly. I mean, good thought. We thought that we should not be a meal replacement. What we are offering is a tool for behavioral change through functional nutrition. And you can replace your healthy cookie or your chewing gum or your, sweets or your regular small bites with our bars or other food products that have these formulations inside, because we didn't want to create pills. I'm coming from pharma. I know that people don't like to take drugs, and they shouldn't, by the way. And the adherence problem is that mechanism of taking pills. So when we infuse our formulation in small size bars, we offer you a good way to remember in a hassle-free and healthy way that you should manage your stress. Because when you take now your energetic pink or focus yellow or sleepy gray, you do something in order to manage your stress. And this is according to your profile. And it could be in our nutrition bars or a specific chocolate, again, cookies, granola, etc. And the portion, of course, is very personal. So we have users that we recommend them to eat twice a day, for example, before they go to sleep and in the morning. We have users that we recommend them to eat only one per day. It's, again, personal.
Okay, so once a day or throughout the day as needed.
Exactly.
That is good. We always hear about personalized nutrition, and for product manufacturers, that seems to be an almost insurmountable hurdle because what will you do? Make 8 billion different products? But it seems like you found the nexus where to bring those two concepts together, personalized nutrition and a batch produced product. So that's pretty cool.
You're totally right, because personalization is a bit misleading. At the end of the day, it is customization. We need to earn money, otherwise the companies will not survive. So we cannot create billions of options. But it's like an espresso model. Okay, an espresso model is the same. You have a bunch of options, but every consumer in espresso can choose the flavor that he likes. At myAir, he can choose the flavor that he likes, but the algorithm will choose the formulation that he needs. And at myAir Insight, the platform that we provide to our users, we provide daily insights of nutrition recommendations that are not our product at all. Okay. In our diet, there are thousands of functional ingredients that can support our mood. Even our milk, our bread, our fish, our nuts. So you can eat a specific product of, myAir or our partners, but you can eat other food products, and every day you get recommendations in myAir Insight app, the platform, of what you should eat. So this is very personalized. And another tool that we launched this year is based on generative AI. We launched the smartest nutritionist on earth. It's based on your physiological data and psychological data, but all the research data, which is relevant, the biome research in the world. And then you can have a chat with our 24/7 nutritionist, and she will tell you, based on your profile, what else you can eat.
Okay. So, like I said, it's just a perfect melding of personalized nutrition. A quick question, I didn't notice, but of the different flavors and the different mood situations they're meant to address, are those interchangeable? For example, does one flavor, is it available across all? And so, and so each flavor is available across each mood.
Exactly.
Excellent. So I have a technical question though. How do you ensure the sourcing, purity, quality, consistency, and bioavailability of the ingredients in your bar or any of your formulations?
Yeah, technical issue, but so crucial. I mean, we believe that rigorous sourcing standards are essential. Again, maybe my background incorporates like Nestle and pharma. So we do a supplier selection. We partner only with reputable suppliers, with a high quality standard, and the quality control and testing process with organic, non-GMO, fair trade, etc., is part of our day-to-day life. We have manufacturing excellence with GMP compliance, because we work with partners. We are not a production company, as I mentioned, so we have our own quality team that work with the teams and make sure that we optimize the consistency and of course the quality of every development.
And you have traceability in place as well?
Of course, everything is based on that, lab tests for each batch, etc.
Okay, so you can cover the whole supply chain, farm to production to
maybe I had too many quality problems when I used to work at Nestle, and recalls. I had 3 times in my corporate life recalls. So I remember on my own, how was it to be in a corporate and suffer from recall? And of course, that was back then, but we're doing everything that needed by the compliance rules, because we know that safety first always.
Right. And I think you mentioned that, you've got both in-house and third-party testing of the ingredients. So covering it from all sides. And then the bioavailability, that's, I'm assuming.
That starts with the adaptogens, because the formulations themselves, the bioavailability of them, the way that we sourced the formulation started from that.
Wow. Okay. So, and then you also mentioned, you did studies with 5,000 subjects. So, that's definitely a good, what do we call it? A good N. We're almost out of time. I know we are. Before we go, I've got a quick question. How do you see the food and mood category changing in the next 5 years? Especially now that I see that you've kind of set some standards that are, very high bars for any competitors. No pun intended, but high bars for them to leap over in this category. So, how do you see the changes happening in the next 5 years?
Actually, I'm very optimistic because I believe that technology is going to support our journey, and all the way that we understand the gut-brain axis is helping us to build this category and make it wider. So the technology of personalization, personalized nutrition is become more possible. And this is going to involve deeper customization of dietary recommendations, product that based on genetic, physiological, psychological data. The idea that food is good for your mood is not a new idea. You know that 500 years ago, even chocolate was forbidden because it creates euphoric. But yeah, it's kind of funny and true, by the way. I'm very happy when I eat chocolate. But the idea is that in the future, as long as we can study and match in a better way and in a hassle-free way, and this is so important, this is our method in myAir, is to create an ongoing routine that we work for the consumer, not that the consumer needs to work for us. I mean, if I would ask you to do a genetic exam and, a blood test all the time, and to work and to create a diary and journaling, you will not do that. And this is why we are always connect to a device that you already have. So now we connect to your smartwatch. In the future, we can connect to your mattress, to your restrooms, every device that is checking the data. And everything is going to be much more sophisticated. The range of biometric data that we can integrate and the way of devices are going to, I believe, thrive. And it's all combined with preventative health and the idea that the insurance companies, mainly in the US, of course, understand the return on investment, okay? The ROI, when you create method for consumers to be healthier, is actually better for them.
It's been a big hurdle in the insurance industry to get them to, get the concept of preventive, medicine, preventive intervention.
It's already working. I want to tell you that today, my father, who is 90 years old, told me and showed me in his app that he is paying for his mind and for his body treatment, for his reflexologia, the treatment with his steps. Okay. So this wellness routine is already there. We have these platforms and we can connect to them and we can offer a better wellness routine, stressless routine that is rooted with mind and body activities and with your nutrition. So I'm sure maybe now it's feeling like science fiction, but as you know, science fiction is reality today. So I believe that we have lots of potential.
That's true. So this has been just amazing, very interesting. I'll admit, I didn't expect us to be able to go this deep in such a short amount of time, but you've been great. It's very enlightening. We are out of time. I want to thank you so very much, Rachel, for this insight into the workings of your myAir system and your approach to supporting the vagaries of mood with nutraceutical ingredients. I want to thank our audience members for joining us. I hope you found this inside view of this approach to feeling better through better for you products as fascinating as I did. Be sure to check out our media menu at preparedfoods.com, where you'll find many more videos, podcasts, webinars, with white papers, infographics of value to today's food and beverage developers and manufacturers, and just a comprehensive library of valuable resources. Again, I'm David Fetter, Executive Editor Technical for Prepared Foods Media, and this was a talk with Rachel Yarcony, founder and CEO of myAir Limited. Till next time.
Thank you so much. Been a pleasure.
Our pleasure. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
And we are